Let's keep it going. Another round. Let's keep it going. At least get the team set up for next year. We need a hitting coach and a third base coach as opposed to a pitching coach. Hitting coach wise, do we have anybody? That guy just fucks up bunting, but +3 power and contact, +1 contact's not that bad. Peter Crosby. Peter Crosby. See if we can bring you back. And as a third base coach, Russ Roper. Terrence Hayes. We'll go for Russ Roper. He's younger. All right. Here comes the big decisions. Israel Gutierrez. We do have Casey Roberson, the 27-year-old, in the system, pretty much ready to go. He is a major league caliber player. He's very similar to players of the past that have great fielding but need to develop the hitting. I mean, Israel's 37. He's in decline. Had a pretty average OPS this year, but did have a 340 on base. Didn't do very well in the playoffs at all. Wants $10 million, if not 12, for the season. We obviously aren't going to sign him long term. Is he worth $12 million? Maybe. The question more so, is he worth potentially stunting the development of Casey Roberson by having Casey not play third base? You know? And that's the big question. Because Gutierrez, he just hasn't gotten it done. And certainly didn't get it done in the playoffs. I think we got to just continue to let some of these guys go. 8 seasons. Almost 800 games as a Pirate. Almost 400 RBIs, a career OPS of a 783. But I think we have to let Gutierrez go. 21.5 WAR in his career. I think we got to let Goody go. Let Casey Roberson have his time. And if it's not Roberson's time, we'll still have Joe Dale as a depth option next year. Gaucho as well, who hasn't retired. I think Israel Gutierrez has to go. DJ Liss in center field. Seven seasons, over 800 games. Had a damn good season at the plate, one of his best. Didn't really show up in the playoffs. He's only 32. We have Pena and Wright, who won a Gold Glove. Freitas. The only guy who would potentially be halted is Werdekemper, but he can afford another season in AAA. I think we bring DJ Liss back, depending on the asking price. And actually, with Gutierrez, I feel so bad getting rid of him. Honestly, if we were to get rid of Rick Gutierrez and Ken Hahn, it would just be give Michael Leone the chance. Instead of move Roberson over to keep Israel Gutierrez. DJ Liss can stay. He's going to want about $14 million for one season. Again, Werdekemper's still a year away, at least. Pena's got 2 years left on his deal. Very team-friendly deal. Coe's still got some arbitration time left. Reyna's signed for dirt cheap. Freitas, of course, just got that new deal, which is a bit concerning. I think we'll go for the 1-year deal for Liss, and we'll see if he takes it. He is going to want to be overpaid to stay. He is not willing to budge over that level of interest of what would be about $17.1 million a year. That's all we can do. is offer DJ that deal and see if he takes it. Ken Hahn, you were abysmal in the regular season to the point that you were not on the playoff roster. 6 seasons with us, now 33 years old. Career OPS is terrible to the point where 2041 was a fucking mirage. Career WAR of a 0. I don't see how we bring him back. I don't. At the very least, Michael Leone's there to be the depth option. And to be honest, we might DFA Rick Gutierrez just to get underneath that contract now, out from underneath that contract now, because he is in free fall. I think Ken Hahn's gone too. I think we got to start turning it over to the youth a little bit, right? So Israel Gutierrez likely out. Ken Hahn also likely out. Ramon Hinojosa at shortstop. Still a damn good depth infielder to have. He's solid. If he doesn't want that much, he's kind of perfect to have as a depth shortstop. And he shouldn't be that expensive. He's not. It'd be 1 year. Can I get him to max interest? No, I can't. He also has a cap. So it'll be 1 year at 10 million even. Take it or leave it, Ramon. And then Gary Dixon, who did choke in the playoffs. Career ERA of a 4.17. He had 3 very good years and then not so much this year. I mean, you could bring him in, but he hasn't been elite. He has just been bang average. And with how many players we have who deserve a shot, I think we're also saying goodbye to Gary Dixon. 8 years of service with the team, Gary, and I thank you for it. But we're going to continue to turn it over to the youth here. So Dixon, Hahn, Gutierrez are out. DJ Liss and Hinojosa at least have offers. We'll see if they stay. Roper's on as our third base coach. Crosby's on as our hitting coach. Hinojosa has signed the deal to stay, so the only guy we're unsure of is DJ Liss. I don't think he's a high enough overall to warrant a qualifying offer either. I don't think we'd get a great return there. Right. No overly familiar names in free agency. We've been doing this for so damn long now. 40-man's going to be a concern. Again, it is every single year. No arbitration to worry about. Let's go to these contracts. So, Mr. Sato, it'll be 3 years at about as cheap as I can get you, which apparently is dirt fucking cheap. I mean, we'd be dumb not to do that. Andreas Mesa. Gotta bring you back. No money to be saved. Fodor, the former catcher. Definitely better suited as a first baseman. Can also sign him for dirt cheap, hopefully. Martin Lopez. You know, it's okay, so it is the same thing. I love how DJ Liss thinks you were on a contender after you won the division, had the second best record in the league. Isn't it great? So for Sato, you could technically try to go for the 6-year deal and pay him now before he continually, honestly, I think we try this. We have the money to spend this offseason. Now is the time to try the big contracts to save money down the road. So $1.6 million for 6 years, because at 7 years, his expectation jumps up to about $15 million based on projection. Let's see if Sato will take that deal. Mesa will still be, actually, let's get Mesa at 100% interest, so 110. Fodor. It'll be the same thing. 6-year deal. We'll get you to max interest, which is right there at about $1.8 million a year, which is nice. Lopez, same thing. 6 years, about $2 million. A little bit less, 1.4 would be great. Uribe, let's just get you on a max interest deal. Terrell Ford, Same thing, just to get these guys to hopefully sign without much controversy. Michael Leone. Gonna bring you back. Lewis McCall. We'll try to save a boatload of money if possible. Dread Patrick Roberts. Casey Roberson. Same thing. 6-year deal, 1.7. Be 1.3, that'd be pretty good. Lowry, get you the max offer. Chris Clements. Same thing. Peter Edmonds, who was an outfielder turned shortstop. We got Hahn. The good thing is we did just have a pretty decent draft. But yeah, I kind of told you guys this might be happening. In terms of us just falling off and having to retool. Well, I said rebuild. Endo used the word retool, which hopefully is more applicable because a full rebuild right now would destroy me. If we aren't already there, the full rebuild would do it. Then for the starters, Waylon Hendricks. Again, we will start doing this deal where we try to save money if possible, given some of those longer term contracts that I'm handing out. 60K would be great. Yusnel Espinoza will definitely be in AAA the next year. Again, he was the #1 prospect in baseball entering last season. Chad Jones was number 5 on that list. And yeah, for most of these guys, it'll just be bumping up the base offer by 2 to get them to higher interest. Frank Christensen, you've been here for a long time, buddy. For that reason, well, apparently you have a max for what you're willing to accept. So I will offer you $950. Take it or leave it. These guys were all random filler. What's funny, if you had to pick a team to tear down and rebuild to start a franchise, this would be perfect. Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, wouldn't it? Bunch of older stars who haven't won anything. All right, I am going to have to worry about the 40-man, which sucks. Andreas Mesa definitely needs to be on that list. Michael Leone definitely needs to be on that list. Oh my God, a lot of our younger players need to be. We got Gaudio in left. I thought so. Edmonds at shortstop. We have no choice but to start turning it over to the youth because the youth is getting impatient with waiting. We'll add Ronan Lowry at third. We do have a full 40, man. Thomas Gaucho, I gotta risk losing you, buddy. I gotta risk losing you to get Lowry up there. Gaucho has been a loyal player to this team. Let's see, we want to protect Uribe and Montero. Is there anybody else who's an obvious shout to get rid of? David Sung as well. I'd prefer not to lose you, but we do have somebody better. Sorry, it was Montero and right. Have we ever gotten a Rule 5 back? No. Well, yes, actually, no. We traded for a couple of people, getting rid of some of our depth to do it. And then there have been other times that we've done that and then just drop the people anyway. If we want to protect Uribe, honestly, I'm going to risk Uribe because we have people ahead of him. All right, so now it's just the question of DJ Liss. Will he accept our offer and be back or not? But we got a lot of contract offers out. Ooh, and good news. Some of these guys have accepted those early deals. So it's like a 6-year deal already for Sato at 1.6. We could have him for less, but that is a cheap price long term. Same for Fodor. So we have about a 6-year window right now to try and win something. Silver Thunder, you handsome devil. Hello, everybody, from his channel, by the way. We, too, play sports games and a lot of geoguessing. But I play a lot of franchise. In which case, sometimes we go 20 years without winning a championship because Pittsburgh gonna Pittsburgh. I hope the stream was on, my friend. I hope you've been good. It's been a little bit. Allow me to focus in for a quick moment. Fortnite, okay. Why were so many people on Fortnite? Like, specifically tonight. Did something happen? Did something happen? No clue. It's just, people are just like, you know what? It's a Fortnite night. Fair enough. I have those nights where it's like, you know what? Fortnite, let's go. So I feel it. But because a buddy of mine asked if I wanted to run. Okay, well, fair enough. Okay, chat, we got a major decision here. We can't lose Maurice Burnett. We can't do that. Former two-time MVP Vince Messer is in free fall. After 15 years with the team, his overall is in free fall. He was technically better than he was last year, but I mean, yeah, look at that 4-year span. That's an expensive contract that only gets worse. Oh, that's why they have Star Wars stuff. That makes sense. That makes sense. That would do it. That would do it. Do we buy out Messer? Do we buy out Rick Gutierrez, who's lost like 13 overall points? Not necessarily buyout, but DFA. Like the core two. Who at this point, it's like, yeah, you guys can just go. Because Pena can start and right. We got Fridas in center. Cohen Reyna. Potentially List coming back. McCann Hinojosa. I think you were the guy that put the work to us in Shell against us. If you were playing with Larry, then yes. And sorry about that. Good games though. Or good games, should I say. How long will the penalties go for? That's the question. That is the question. So the problem is, right, if you were to release him, it would only be 3 years worth of payments, but we could DFA him first and hope somebody claims him, and then we'd be totally off the hook, if I am not mistaken. So, Larry's a good guy, man. We're going to have to make a decision on that, but I don't think we have to make it right now. Tanner, thank you for the follow, by the way. I do appreciate you. I would also appreciate DJ List signing this goddamn contract. Oh, you're totally going to Philadelphia. Oh, you're totally going to go to the other side of the state. How dare you? How dare you, sir? I can already see it coming. As Albert Werdekemper is our only holdout contract-wise right now. Other than that, we're set up pretty well. Just make a decision, DJ. Jesus. Something. Enough with this whole suspense nonsense. Hey, he came back. That's right. You took a look at Philadelphia and said, maybe not. No disrespect to the people of Philadelphia. But come on. You know. Come on. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. So DJ List has come back. Everybody's signed. We're set up well for the Rule 5 and such. Now it's just a matter of, do we let go of some of these veterans? And I don't know. And I think, so the benefit to let go of them now is that teams will have more cap space and potentially be more likely to claim them. The benefit to waiting is that, hey, they might actually still be good and worth keeping on the team. And maybe people are, later on, less likely to claim them, meaning we're on the hook for their contracts. Mac, we're not set up to lose anybody. But we could move on from Messer and run with the two-headed beast of Fodor and Lopez. We could cut Ricky Gutierrez and run with Michael Leone, knowing that Lewis McCall and Oliver Perez Jr. are in the system. Also knowing that like Hinojosa could play second for a season, or even Casey Roberson. Although we probably want Roberson to play third, so maybe Joe Dale. I think we're going to wait. I am very, Very tempted. Oh, God, we have too many people on the 40-man after DJ came back. Very tempted to make a drastic change, but for the moment, we won't. There's somebody else that we have to expose in this draft. Honestly, it should be Adrian Ortega. He got removed off the playoff roster. He's fine, but not elite. If we lose him, so be it. All right, bunch of big free agent signings, and indeed, the Red Sox have claimed Ortega, which is fine. Again, we literally left him off of our playoff roster because of his struggles in the regular season. So, in theory, outside of it being a body, there's no real loss there. Icon, what's going on? All right, like I said, I mean, again, we are in 2043. So, yeah, they aren't going to be familiar names unless people have been following this whole to-do. Or unless it's a former player of ours or a World Series MVP that goes from Seattle to Anaheim. All right, Rule 5, we shouldn't lose anybody in particular. And indeed, we did not, which is good. And again, we have a full JJ John. We do have a full 40-man as well, so we couldn't partake even if the rules said that we could. Cool. So to spring training we go. As Pablo Ramirez leaves Miami and goes to the Mets after one season. Good for you, Pablo. Way to just kind of be a marauder. Ray Nunez as well, another former catcher of ours, getting some money at the end of his career. I like it. Cy Wimberly. Should have drafted that guy. Defense first catcher. Yes! The greatest story in sports. Greg Marlin goes home. The former Marlin goes back to Miami at the end of his career. Oh, dreams do come true. Thank you, Greg Marlin, for going back. Beautiful. Beautiful. Name a better love story. You can't. You can't. As Israel Gutierrez goes north of the border. Damn. Oh, God. Fair warning. Fiance's sick with a cold. All of a sudden, I'm feeling pretty stuffy. Pray for me, chat. Pray for me. Oh, God. That would suck. All right. So heading into this season, first and foremost, did we lose a scout? No, we didn't. Our scouts have still been great. Although this scout is fucking elite, but I do not have the money to sign them. I do not have the money to sign them, and it's not worth taking a hit anywhere else, really. So we'll leave it. That's a shame. As far as the team is concerned, at catcher, it is Burnett and Sato, who are going to be on the roster. David Sung, our former starter, is going to be all the way down in Double-A because we want Andreas Mesa to be the starter in Triple. But Sato will now be the backup for Maurice Burnett. So fairly happy about that. A little bit concerned about some of the other stats. Honestly, the way Fodor is developing, he could be considered as a catcher moving forward, but first base is going to be Messer and Luis Fodor. His overall went higher than Lopez. So Fodor is more than likely the guy. We'll start Lopez. He's out of options. So is Fuck. Oh, Vince, my boy. Our two-time MVP. We would have to risk losing one of these first basemen to keep you. He hasn't played a full season in 3 years. It wouldn't be the worst to lose one of these guys, but man, is it not ideal. We'll come back to first base. Second base, Gutierrez, Michael Leone. We'll have McCall down in triple. Probably with Oliver Perez. Actually, let's go with Roberts just because he's older. And in double A, Perez can be the starter there. And Jim Wise, honestly, might be better off in single A. First base to catcher. That is also an option, yes. Sato also, though, does not have options, and Burnett won't either at 33. So, yeah, we're going to have to make a decision that I do not currently want to make. Gaucho starts off in triple, which is fine. Actually, so you know what? Clements will be in single. Gaucho is going to go all the way down to double because I want Lowry to be the AAA starter. Yeah, I don't really see how Gaucho would be on this roster right now either, just because of limited options. We got McCann and Hinojosa. So the shortstop side of things is pretty well sorted out. It is worth noting at second base, Perez and Wise are both new. I got to be honest, Jim Wise is worth training up as a center fielder. He has a cannon of an arm and good speed. If we can just teach that guy how to field, he'd actually be pretty damn good. So I think I'm going to move Wise to center. Especially knowing that Liss and Fritas are not long for this team. We are going to move old Jimbo to the outfield. And then it was Perez, who's not good at much. I'd definitely rather have him at second base than third or shortstop. But he has a bit more speed than our typical first baseman. Well, Lopez has gotten a little bit better, a little bit faster. Still best to have Perez, I'd say, at second base. So that's fine, too. That is fine, too. Third base, again, set up already. Honestly, Clements might as well just play double. He won't take the time away from Gaucho. I mean, Gaucho won't take the time away from him. He's never really going to develop. Yeah, I mean, you could kind of set up Perez at third base, but it's nothing too crazy. We normally do have people over 60 speed. I might want to readjust this down the road, but for this season, it's okay. Shortstops, McCann, Hinojosa, triple, double, single A for Milt Martin. Wow, that alert's playing a lot. I'll take it. Shout out to D-Hug for the follow. Appreciate you. Let's have Milt Martin down in single. And from there, we're looking okay. We're looking all right. Left field. Ko, Reyna. Gaudio will obviously be in triple. We'll sort out the rest from there. Obviously, Freitas and List. Again, Wise and Mahler, try to train them up as good center fielders. Werder Kemper and Mortero are not quite ready for prime time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outfielders, which I'm good with. Oh, we're going to have some tough choices here, aren't we? Again, we did not have a great natural closer, which is what it is. Technically drop the requirement of stamina. But in theory, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That would be there. So the Major League, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So like Hendricks goes down. Garcia would have to go through waivers. Casilla can go down. Diaz can go. Reggie Black can go. We still have 3 players too many on the roster. Honestly, we could send down an extra reliever in Torero. We have to make a decision at first base regarding Vince Messer or one of the other guys. We simply have to. One position. Oh, actually. Yeah, I mean, Jesus. So even if we theoretically put you there and you there, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still got to get rid of two position players. Outfield-wise, the obvious drop is Reyna. If we lose him, so be it. Do we risk losing one of these two? We can't. Look at how long they're signed and for how cheap. Vince, I fucking hate to do this, my friend, but with your overall plummeting, I don't know how we keep you. I mean, technically one of these two could play corner outfield, but at second base, like, we have Leon in the system. We got Roberson at third, McCann at short. We got Coe at left, who has to play. Pena it's Vince, 15 years, 2 NL MVPs, 2,194 games, over 400 home runs. But with that contract hanging over our heads, we are going to designate Vince Messer and try to get out from underneath that contract. It's time to move on. We could not win in the Vince Messer era. We tried. Reyna has cleared waivers. And Messer is officially out. We have to drop one more pitcher. And that will be the youngster Torero. And that is our 26. What was his peak overall? Like 92, 93. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was a phenomenal player. But we just didn't get it done in his era. So the pitching staff this year, we're going to have our highest rateds. We'll have Adlin and Garcia as long relievers. And man, if people don't get it done, they're just gone at this point. Is the only thing to say. Oh, that's a hell of a glitch. We'll have Smoove and Irizarry as our setup and closer. They were our two best relievers last year. We have Hoff, Maraville, Esposito. So honestly, the bullpen's looking... I mean, the pitching staff on paper is amazing. And then we'll still have to optimize the lineup from there. So let's see if we can sort out. That's good to go. First base is now Fodor and Lopez. Uribe will be in triple. We'll have Ford in double, Gonzalez in single if we can. We might need to call him up. Triple A for you, double A for you, triple A for you. That's good. Triple A for you, double double. That's good. Triple double double single. Ideally, double A across the board there. Double A across the board there. Double A across the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's drop Morales down to single A. Bonilla to single. And Crosby for the moment until we know that we need 5 instead of 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with Fernandez. So we'll drop Mortero. We're going to have a real shortage of relievers again. A Real shortage of relievers. On paper, it says we should be great. And honestly, contract extensions. Riley's going to want big money at the end of this year. Liss is going to want big money. Hinojosa wants a straightforward contract. Adeline, honestly, now might be the time. 5 years, if he'll take it. And he did. So Adeline just signed a very team-friendly deal. We'll see if Boone Smoove will do the same. He did. Maraville. Be about a 3-year deal before it gets really pricey. Maraville signed, and then what about Ricky Hoff? Could again be about a 4-year deal before it gets stupidly expensive. Cool. So yeah, Riley, Liss, Hinojosa playing for contracts this year. Let's go ahead, hit sim the regular season. That way I can get a full look at what AAA needs. We are going to have to fully fix up these lineups. So AAA needs about 3 position players. What is the best way to do that? Thomas Gaucho. I mean, we want Lowry to be the starter, but Gaucho can still be there. It's 1. And are there 2 other pitchers? Because the AA roster is already going to be pretty fucked. Again, 2 more. Oh, 2 more options. Let's go with David Sung in AAA. We'll have to bring on AA starters. This is going to be a very, very weird team. It's pretty much the only way to state it. Let's get Sandy Harris in AAA. I'd prefer to not do that because of a real lack of spots. Who the hell else can I call up? It's gonna it's gonna have to be a first baseman. Let's go for Terrell Ford, which means AA for Gonzalez. We need about 5 rando relievers for AA again because we continue to have these extreme shortages. 3, a 4, and a 5. Beautiful. All right. And then we just have rando single A dudes that can actually play in double. Might not get the playing time that they need, but what the hell else are we going to do right now? 26 across the board. Let's set this up. Rotation-wise, like I said, Major League, we're good to go. AAA, I mean, Yusniel Espinoza certainly needs to be in there. I mean, Waylon Hendricks is basically Major League ready, too. So we are going to be... we got to start being ruthless because otherwise we'll be holding people back. That's all that can be said. We got to be ruthless or we will simply be holding people back. Get Darrell Williamson in there. AA pitching staff does look half decent. At least for the starters, the bullpen is atrocious. Lineup-wise, Major League level. Let's sort it out this way first to see how we want to set this up. So Burnett, clearly the catcher over Sato. Fodor or Lopez? Lopez against the lefties. Fodor against the righties. Other way around. Fodor against lefties. Yeah, Fodor's against... There we go. That's fine. It's late. Ricky Gutierrez, you get one more chance, buddy. You got to have a great season. We're going to try Roberson at third base over Dale. McCann at shortstop or DH. Probably DH so that Hinojosa can play. We'll have Cohen left, Fritas in center, Pena in right. And DJ Liss available off the bench if need be. I think that is the setup. I think it is. Just a matter of who hits where. If we wanted to base it off of speed, we could go Freitas and Tim Coe. It's so weird no longer seeing Vince Messer in this lineup, but... And I'm wondering if maybe I made a mistake, but we gotta live with it. We gotta live with it. All right. That is the lineup against righties. So we got Freitas. We got Tim Coe in left. Burnett is now in that 3 spot. DJ Liss out for Hinojosa. We have first base, right field, shortstop. And then Gutierrez Roberson. That's the team. We'll let triple and double sort itself out for the most part. I mean, there will be injuries. Certain other people will get to play, but yeah, I don't want to fix all of their lineups. That's a pain in the ass. It has us listed as the best team in baseball, at least on paper. We'll see how long that lasts. The rest of the division, particularly the Cardinals, absolutely suck. And in terms of the top prospects list, we still have the number one. Didn't I put in Fodor against lefties? Did I fucking invert it again? Because I'm trying to go fast. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you. I made that mistake. I switched it when I didn't have to. We still have the best prospect in baseball, Yusnel Espinosa, but Chad Jones right there with him. So we have starting pitching help on the way. Eddie McCann is also there at number 20. Waylon Hendricks at 26. Our first position player, Werder Kemper, at 27. Andreas Mesa, the catcher, at 43. I will say the same thing I said heading into last season. God, let this be the year. But we just lost a lot of guys. Israel Gutierrez, Vince Messer. It's a different team. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.